Hey, we're back here again, and this time we have an all-star producer. Yeah, that's right. He's up and coming. I'm telling you, this guy's gonna be the next big thing. Here, he's demonstrating. He's creating basically the beats of these well-known songs in under 60 seconds. It's absolutely amazing, and how accurate he does it is freaking phenomenal. And his ideas are gonna be changing, game changing to the game of music. So please, please, please go and check him out. Super cool dude. The energy I got from him was out of this world. He's just a nice guy, and I want to see him do well. Go check him out. Love y'all.
I took the voice. Making Bad Guy by Billie Eilish in under a minute. Okay, so first we have Antonio's asking how I did the horn sound for.
Welcome back to another episode of Important Miscellaneous Talks. I've been pumping these bad boys out. We are changing the world one podcast at a time. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Sir.
Hi, my name is Ovrthro. I'm a guitarist, producer, and artist.
Where did you get that name from?
I like to play a lot of audio in reverse when I'm making beats, and I was just looking up synonyms for reversing audio one day, and I just chopped out a couple letters, and that's how I got Ovrthro.
Talk about where your love of music stems from.
I started playing piano when I was in like second or third grade, and like I didn't really like love it, but I also felt like determined to practice it. I don't know why, what it stemmed from. It was kind of like solving a puzzle when I was like reading the sheet music. And that's where it came from initially. But then I remember like going to my cousin's house and playing Guitar Hero. And I just remember absolutely loving guitar at that point. And I was still young. I was still like 8 or 9. And then I eventually started playing guitar, and one thing led to another, and that's where the music started.
Which part of music would you say that you're most focused on? The guitar, artist, or producing?
That's I would say production first and foremost. I would blanket almost all three into just songwriting, because like I can be sitting in my room making beats all day, but it won't really have any meaning until it actually has a final product. Like the beats themselves are cool, but then once like an artist, whether it's me or somebody else, hops on the beat and actually turns it into a masterpiece, that's when things really start clicking with me.
And also, where are you from?
I'm near Toronto in Canada.
I
So I'm
knew
up
he was
north.
Canadian. I freaking knew he was Canadian, eh?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Where are you guys from?
New
New
York.
York.
New York. Hell yeah. I haven't been yet. My friend lives there.
Yeah, you gotta come visit.
You
Yeah.
gotta put, you being a musician and everything. It's I think it's the mecca for anything, music. For
Yeah, my friend was saying that there's a really big scene there. Like a lot of people came from there. It's kind of drifted more as LA as the hub, but like there's still so many talented people and so much of a scene in New York. So I'd always love to come visit.
do you have any that inspired music? Of course, the typical Drakes and Justin Biebers and stuff like that.
I really like I love jazz, to be honest. So like there's
Interesting.
this like Miles Davis is actually honestly a huge inspiration. His album Shades of Blue, I believe he released it in like the 60s or something, a long time ago. But like I've always loved jazz, and I know I can't be sad when I'm listening to it for some reason. It's just like it's just a feel good type of sound. So when I go to bed, like every night, I have this clock radio behind myself because I try not to go to bed with my phone. I need that to wake me up. So like I play jazz music as I go to sleep, and it's just like super relaxing. And that makes its way into my production. So I love using like advanced kind of chord progressions and stuff like that.
And
Can you say? Yeah.
how
Say that one more time.
how old are you?
I'm 22.
So how did
Wow.
you being young, it's the typical 22-year-old doesn't know much about Miles Davis or jazz music in general. So how did you come about that?
Man, I was just driving one day, and I was just tuning through the radio, and there's this station in Detroit, the city across from mine. Um 90.9 was like the FM station. It was like at nighttime. They play jazz at night, and I was like, holy shit, like this is amazing. And I just kept listening to it from then. I must have been in like grade 10.
Wow.
It's sick.
Can you say about for me?
About a boat. Is that how you wanted me to say it?
I mean, you're close. You're really
I,
close.
the Canadian accent creeps its way in. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Do you say
I say a lot. I actually didn't even notice it until I started like coming down to LA and talking to people. They were like, "Oh my god, this guy is like a true Canadian," and I didn't even catch it until they pointed it out.
Where do you say? Where would you like to take your producing career?
I I really like what Pharrell has done in terms of production for other artists and songwriting alongside of other artists, but also having his own like brand and his own formidable like career standing out in the front. In the sense that I haven't studied much of his catalog. I know he's like super talented and I've loved everything I've heard from him, but he has such a good balance between working with other artists and having his own identity when it comes to the craft. And that's something I'm struggling with myself because like right now as a producer, production pays the bills a lot more than artistry because artists make the money when they're like at the top versus the grind, the huge gap in the middle. So I catch myself producing for a lot of other artists because that's what brings in the income that can make me do this full time right now. But eventually I'd love it to be like 50-50.
um you said you produce for other artists. What artists have you produced? Do you mean like big time artists or do you mean like, local artists?
So there's a couple there's a couple bigger artists that I produce for that live like overseas. So there's this one song called Dili Ki Ladki, and it was written by this YouTuber in India, and he actually bought like one of me and my co-producers beats from our website, and it ended up getting like it went viral on TikTok, like it had 89 million streams or something like that. So that there's like some big time stuff like that, but it's more overseas. I have a couple projects with artists like A-list artists in the works right now, but I don't really want to say much of that because I don't want to jinx it or anything.
Talk about it
But
offline.
yeah, we can talk about that offline for sure. I have this friend, her name's Amani Carolyn Music, and she's like definitely like the passion project for my songwriting and producing. Like I put my heart and soul into working with her, and she's gonna be huge. She has a great sound, and I'm doing like Zoom sessions daily with her, just like working it out.
Oh, who would you say is the top five producers of all time?
That's hard, bro. That's a really hard thing. I really love Dre and I really love Dilla. They just have such an authentic like work ethic and authentic flow when it comes to their beats. I love 40. I love Drake's producer. He innovated such an amazing sound.
Yeah, no. I'm
Um,
really surprised at Jay Dilla though because he doesn't get talked about enough.
he doesn't get talked about enough. Like there was a really I feel like when lo-fi was like bumping in like 2018, he had like he had like a peak in the trend of people talking about him, but like not many people talk about his approach. I mean, all things considered, I haven't actually like completely studied his approach, but I know like his works and I know what makes like what he's crafted is just great. I also really love Symbolic One. His records with like Kanye, his records with Eminem, his records with I think he had a couple with Beyonce. They're great.
Yeah.
And then there's this oh sorry.
I said RP Jay Dilla.
Yeah, for real. And then last one to top off that top five, I really love this producer songwriter named Khalid Roaim. He does production for the Kid Laroi, for Justin Bieber, Juice WRLD, like Ariana Grande. He's an excellent producer.
I
I'm a
love
huge fan of his.
Killer. My God.
Yeah, he's great.
Wow. So, what made you start on TikTok?
I think like just I kind of hopped on the bandwagon because as a producer trying to advertise my beat store, which is like the other side of my business where I just license beats online, trying to build awareness for that is like one of the hardest things. Just posting beats on YouTube isn't enough, and it's basically like a lottery. So some people will post like Drake type beats, and one day one of the beats will just get like 1 million views and they'll just make a living just from selling on YouTube. And that's like making it by luck. Whereas making content, like visual content through TikTok that engage a lot of people, I feel like that's more my thing because I like talking to people, I like engaging, and the explosive nature of like virality on TikTok is also what attracted me.
Mm.
Would you say that TikTok is ideal for artists that wants longevity in their career? Because I've noticed while TikTok has made a lot of artists careers, they have a tendency to not stick around for too long.
That's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm worried about myself too, because like my content just started popping like a couple weeks ago, and it's like my videos will get a couple million views, and it's like I'm thinking in my head, what do I do next? And I feel like TikTok is great for beginning artists, great for longevity as well, as long as how I mentioned luck earlier isn't the only factor in play. So like I'm really every day I'm looking at my content, trying to see where viewers drop off, where they stop watching, where they continue scrolling to other TikToks, and seeing how I can maximize them watching it the whole time. Um, Whether that's like me doing like a FaceTime skit as if I was on Zoom with you guys, but posting it on TikTok and having context to the story, or me doing those speed runs. I feel like as long as artists can implement what it takes to maintain an audience, TikTok is amazing.
Yeah, that might be one thing where once they blow up through TikTok, they're no longer as consistent with their content posting on TikTok.
For sure, because like when they start, they're just pumping out. It was easy for me to pump out 6 or 7 videos a day. I was like, yeah, this is like amazing. And now I'm catching myself posting like one, maybe two. Then again, my content is a little bit harder to make now because like I've innovated it since from when I started. But like, yeah, people definitely slack, and it's important to stay consistent.
Would you say that your parents support your dreams? Because it's tough out here for artists and people in the entertainment industry for their parents to, be that welcome that with open arms.
So they're cautious, or initially they were cautiously supportive. So I was in high school when I was like wanting to do music full time, but at that point in time I was just making it habitually. Like I wasn't sitting here for 8 hours a day, like literally just grinding my music. I was like, I just want to pursue this. And I was talking to my mom, and she was like she wasn't upset, but she was like worried about it because
Mm.
it's like even right now I'm always worried about myself because I'm seeing like constant stories about just people not making enough money by the way the music industry is constructed. So they're cautiously supportive. Now that I've seen some traction and some success for myself, they're more supportive of it, knowing that I have like my hands in multiple bags, just
Mm.
working a steady 8 hours a day.
That's good.
Go ahead, go ahead.
That's really the thing with parents where it's not necessarily that they don't want to support their children's dream. They just want to make sure their child is okay.
Yes,
And
yeah,
going after that reliable, stable job, they'll know, okay, at least my son will be good. You're taking a way bigger risk pursuing your dreams than just going for the run of the mill career.
totally. And that's exactly the sentiment that was shared. It's like I really want you to have a happy and fulfilling life, but I also don't want you to be struggling to pay bills. Like I want you to be secure. So that was like the tug of war inside my parents' mind.
What would you say are the pros and cons of the music business?
The pros are I have so much fun like every single day. And the cons, like, well, okay, so back on the pro, like I would get into ruts, like creative ruts, and sometimes I think like, why am I doing this? But then there's other times where I'm making music and everything clicks and I get goosebumps, and I've never felt like that kind of euphoria from anywhere else like in my life.
Mm.
And that's what keeps me going. Um the cons are, however, like I'm always stressing, like essentially worrying about like where I'm going to be in 5 years because I have no idea. As long as I keep working, I'm hoping I'll be chilling at least. But
Mhm.
like I can't come up with what 5 years looks like in my head because there's so many different paths that it can take me. And that's cool. But at the same time, I'm somebody who likes like schedule and like predictability, which I mean, however that is, but I'm a lot more stressed than I would be, I feel like, if I had a full-time job.
How do you do those speed runs, man? And are those staged?
So they're 100% real, the practice that goes behind them. Sorry, my Discord's beeping. I'm just gonna quit that app real quick. The practice that goes behind that is like a pretty extensive amount of practice. So like if I were to walk through, I go on Spotify, I listen to a song that might be a candidate for a speed run, and I'll take like 20-30 minutes like literally recreating the song in my music software. And then I pull up like a stopwatch and I try to get it in like 5 minutes, and then I try to get it in 3 minutes, and then I try to get it in 1 minute. So the entire time spent on this speed run, starting like finding the song, speed running it, and editing the video takes like an hour to an hour and a half each day of my time, versus like me just listening to a song and I'm like, okay, there it is.
Got you, got you. Because I was wondering, like, yo, bro, this guy's a genius. If that was the one that had to DM me. I was like, nah, I have to get this guy on, man.
I appreciate you, bro. That's probably the EXO Tour Life one.
Yes,
Yeah. That one was fun. I loved that.
I was amazed.
It's
That's impressive.
I have to give credit to Simon Servita because he was the one who initially came up with that idea. He had like a full-length YouTube video, and he was like, I really love playing video games. Like I'm a gamer myself, and I wanted to figure out how to bring that into music. So like gamers, they play games for such an extensive amount of time that they can complete the game in an absurdly short amount of time. So that's what Simon Servita implemented into music. And I saw that, and I was like, let me give this a try. Like this looks really fun. And so I'm giving credit to his idea, but I just kept doing it. It's so fun, honestly.
Did you learn music by ear or self-taught or by notes?
So I had a piano teacher like at a young age. That's where the primary knowledge of me like just playing the piano came from. Guitar, I also did have a teacher. So like through instruments, mainly actually I had a singing teacher as well. I had 3 teachers. So yeah, most of it is taught by teachers. Everything production wise is self-taught or like through YouTube videos. When I started singing, I was terrible. So like I really needed a teacher, bro. I was headed down the wrong path. Like I was just ruining my voice, and I'm really glad I got that teacher.
Vocally, who inspires you vocally? Top 5.
Leroy inspired a lot of my like more upbeat songs. I listened.
Man,
What's up?
Leroy's only 16.
I know, he's wild, bro. Like he's so young and he's doing all of this stuff. He was one that inspired like more of my quicker flows. I used to like do more like rock singing because I was heavily inspired by rock music in high school. So I'd listen to like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, a lot of those like 90s bands. And that's like what initially started my foundation. I really like the lead singer of One Republic has a great foundation for songwriting. And he has this like great mixed voice that I was trying to take notes from, because when I first started singing, I would like put everything from the chest, and that's how I was ruining my voice. It would sound terrible, it would feel terrible, and he would just do it effortlessly. And I remember just watching this one video and I was like, okay, maybe I should like ease up on the gas a little bit and think about it more technically. And he helped me out a bit with that.
What would you say is the biggest piece of advice you would give to an up and coming producer?
Do it every single day, like every single day. Doesn't matter for how long, but there were times where I was slacking on my guitar lessons, and I would only do the lesson. I wouldn't do any of the practice in between. But then one week I was like, okay, I'm not practicing for some reason. I'm not enjoying it. Let me just try it for like literally 5 minutes every day. Not an hour, not anything longer than 5 minutes. And me, by the next week, it was like a crazy amount of progress that had happened just from me being there. So it maintains my mindset. As long as you're producing as long as you make an effort to just sit down and produce, or sit down and think about producing, like, what am I going to do next? That's my advice. Just show up every single day.
What would you say, behind all the music that you made, what would you say is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal over everything is to be happy, like literally just to be happy and to reduce my anxiety. Like every day I'm meditating, every day I'm making like efforts to
Spiritual?
what am I spiritual? I would say like a little bit. I focus like
Got crystals?
no, I don't have crystals. I'm more so like in the sense that like the universe gives back to you what you put into it, but it can also teach you like harsh lessons along the way. Um,
Okay.
but I would say that's overall everything because like this past year when things started blowing up and I started like going back and forth from LA and like realizing like this is the life that I would be put into if I was doing if I took it to the next level and the level after that. I was thinking like shoot like maybe I don't want everything that comes with it in the sense like there might be some sacrifices I have to make in the music industry in order to maintain the peace of mind that I have. So
Mm.
like happiness and strong relationships with people is over everything, like over music, over everything.
What would you say? What would you want the message to be behind your music?
That's something I've been trying to think of myself, man. Sometimes it changes every single day. Like I used to I used to make music more for like moody for like people who are in their feels, trying to get them in their feels more. Like I love making sad music. It's just for some reason I just like
Juice
that's
WRLD.
what I gravitate to. But over everything, just like just have fun. Like because I have fun listening to sad music. I have fun making happy music. That like just having fun is like my message, honestly. That's the most important part. Like what else are we here for?
Do you know who Stunna Gambino is?
I don't.
Oh, well, okay, never mind then. Well, he signed to the same label that the Kid Laroi is signed to. They're label mates. So I thought you would know who he is. I don't know. You might like him. You might not. I'm not sure.
I'll check him out. I'll write him down for sure, bro.
If you like the Kid Laroi, and I think you like him. He's like a Kid Laroi mixed with A Boogie mixed with AI. You know, singing, rapping, sad type shit.
But yeah, I just put him into my into Google here. I'm gonna take a listen to him afterwards. That's exciting. Thank you for
Yeah.
letting me know.
This guy's high. You have high vibrations, man.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Y'all do too.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
Try.
I'm tired. How would you like to be remembered?
I'd like to be remembered by the impacts that I have on other people. So like not just like by successes, but more in the profound like interactions that I have with the people that I know and the people that I don't know, the people that I just bump into. I try to be a good person to everybody that I meet, and that's how I'd like to be remembered.
Are you
Yeah.
are you features like working with like you if you see like a local artist on YouTube or on a platform, like do you reach out, hey, I would like to hop on the song or work on the song with you, or maybe vice versa?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I love doing that. That's actually a type of content that I've been doing on TikTok. I've made an effort not to only follow musicians so that way like I can innovate on the contents that they create. But like something that I've been doing is I'll listen to artists who are just singing with the guitar or piano, nothing else, like just demos that they're posting. And then I'll take that demo and fully produce a song behind it and then post that on TikTok and surprise them with an email. Like I won't say like, "Hey, I like your music, like we should work." I'll be like, "Hey, like I heard this demo you posted on TikTok. I made an entire song around it already. Let me know if you're interested in working." And like best case scenario is they like it and we have a whole song come out of it, which is happening with two artists, which I'm really happy about. And worst case scenario is I have like a beat that's already structured around a song that I can use for another artist or even myself. So it's like it's a really sick exercise and it expands your network.
What are your top five favorite genres?
Top 5 favorite genres. I love R&B. I love rock. I love rap. I love jazz. What's back from
That's
that?
everything. The country.
That's almost everything. I mean, classical's pretty all right as well. I listen to that every now and then on that same jazz radio station. They flip between the two, but I would say that.
That's dope.
What would be your comments on the state of R&B today?
I love Giveon. I love Daniel Caesar. Um, I think
Mhm.
the innovation that's coming from Givion's part is just so cool, and it inspires me because I have like a lower voice compared to some of these other like alto like pop and R&B singers, whereas Giveon has the low voice, like it's like in the chest, and that's inspiring to me. Overall on the state, I can't really say much about it. I'm just like a happy participant, and I love the music that's been coming out.
Why do you think it's less mainstream than it was once before?
I think pop just became so formulaic that everybody's kind of tuned in, and it's like watching the same movie over and over again with like different innovations. So like pop kind of became the Marvel movie of like the mainstream, and I feel like that's why R&B kind of got phased out. Not phased out, but like R&B is constantly innovating itself, whereas pop has kind of maintained this same straight line since like 2013. And I think that's why pop is more popular, because it's like a bit more predictable now.
Mm. What do you think separates you from the other producers?
I think the instrumentation separates me from the other producers still. Like a lot of people don't play guitar, a lot of people don't play piano, or a lot of people have that knowledge but don't actually play it. Like they'll just type everything into their program. Um, and like that's sick. Like I love doing that at the same time. But I feel like hand playing things really just adds this other layer of humanness that like opening up FL Studio on your computer and clicking in the notes doesn't. And it's kind of ironic that I say that, because I'll speed run things and I'll use only my keyboard and mouse. But at the same time, like I feel like that's what sets me up differently. I love using my voice in my beats as well. So I'm always making like different vocal chops inside my beats and my melodies that I send out to other producers. I think that's another little factor that I like to implement.
Mm.
So you have an in-home studio, or do you go to a studio and record?
This is my studio right here. I would flip my computer around. I'll send you a picture of it. Like I have one computer, one screen here, one screen there, audio interface, piano, microphone, and actually I can tilt my screen upwards. I have this little that black thing at the top here. It's a cloud that muffles the sound in my room, so that way I don't hear all the echoes. So I've like taken some time into it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's a house?
Yeah, this is my room. This is my room in my mom's house.
Got you.
Yeah.
How did you get that picture with SZA?
So that's Amani, the girl I was talking about initially that I work with. That's her aunt. So like I sent beats to Amani like a really long time ago. It's about like this time almost 2 years ago. And we were just like low-key just messaging on Instagram. And this in February of last year, she messaged me and she was like, hey, like I'm in LA recording right now. I was wondering if you wanted to feature on one of my songs with me. And I was like, yeah, for sure. So it was like one that I produced. And on one of the FaceTime sessions that we were doing virtually, SZA popped by and like introduced herself to me. And after that, like I flew a couple months later, I flew down to LA to work with Amani and just talk to SZA every now and then when we were passing by. She's really cool. She's an awesome person.
Can we get Imani out here possibly?
That's definitely a possibility. I'll link her to your show for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be legendary.
Yeah, most definitely. She's super busy, but like I think she'd be happy to hear.
Give me 15 minutes. We make it happen.
Yeah, I'll drop your IG to her for sure.
Thank you.
Of course, bro. Yeah, so that's how I got that picture. It's been a blast like working with Amani and like being around such a talented family. Like both her, SZA, they're super talented musicians, and it's always a constant feed of inspiration when I'm around them.
Have you ever been starstruck by anybody?
One time when I was at a studio in LA, in the parking lot, I saw the Kid Leroy. Like he was on a scooter in the parking lot, and he had his crew like kind of standing around with him. And there's a basketball net in this parking lot. I was heading to the basketball net. I didn't have my phone on me, and bro, like I was walking by their crew, and I just like looked at them and just continued walking. I didn't say anything. Like I really wish I had said something, because like if I had my phone on me, I think about this like weekly. I'm like wishing that I could have been like, hey man, like I've been making Kid Leroy type beats for like literally a year. I would love for you to have a listen to a couple of them, or even to just introduce myself.
Oh
Damn.
man.
Yeah.
How,
So
how tall is he? He's petite.
he's like he's got to be like 6 feet, higher than that actually.
Kid Leroy?
Yeah, he's a pretty tall guy.
He's still growing.
I know, man. I know.
Wow. That I
Crazy.
gotta Google that. I'm sorry, I gotta confirm.
Yeah.
But if you weren't doing, yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
I would probably have my own coffee shop. I would probably become an accountant at first, because that's where I graduated from. But I was a barista at this place nearby, and it like really sparked this interest in like making coffee and like espresso and lattes and that kind of stuff. So I'd probably become an accountant for the first couple of years and build my bag up a little bit, and then dispose it on this coffee shop idea.
Definitely give me Starbucks vibes.
Yeah.
Really? What? I'm looking at the Kid Leroy's height. I can't find. Someone say he's 6 foot or 6'3".
Yeah,
There's,
he's tall, bro.
there's no way. Come on,
Oh,
man.
that's, that's crazy. Nah, in this image he looks tall though.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm 6 foot myself, and I felt like he was a bit taller than I was.
You said how tall are you?
I'm 6 feet.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so very much for coming on.
Cheers. Thank you so much for having me. This is really fun. Y'all are great conversationalists. I'm going to listen to more of your podcast. I'm going to plug it with some of my friends, and I'll let you know about Amani for sure.
No, for sure, man. I'm
You
a
gotta get back in a year too. See where you at.
I'd be happy to, bro. We can just stay in touch generally. I'm
Oh,
excited.
yeah, I'm a big music head myself and a big music fan. So, um, I definitely love talking to fellow musicians and picking their brains when it comes to music, and also making music as well. So,
Most definitely. It's fun to talk about. Like sometimes when I talk to other people interested in the music industry or involved in the industry, even if we're not like making anything, it's kind of like therapy, because like I get to talk about the experiences, and it's like things feel lighter afterwards. This was fun. I liked it.
exactly.